Have you ever done something so often that it started to feel normal? Something you barely even noticed anymore? Most people think of sin as major wrongdoing, things like stealing, cheating, or hurting others. But the Bible reveals something surprising. Many sins aren't dramatic at all. In fact, some of the habits God warns us about are things people do every single day without thinking twice, without feeling convicted, and sometimes without even realizing their sin. The danger is that when a habit becomes normal, we stop examining it. We stop questioning it, and eventually, we stop fighting it. That's why Jesus repeatedly focused on the condition of the heart, because outwardly, everything may look fine, but inwardly, something could be pulling us away from God. Today, we're going to look at 5 everyday habits God calls sin that many Christians ignore. Some of these may surprise you, and by the end of this video, you may find yourself looking at your daily life a little differently. Let's begin. 1. Gossip disguised as conversation. One of the most common sins people commit is gossip. Yet many people don't call it gossip. They call it sharing. They call it venting. They call it concern. But God sees it differently. The Bible repeatedly warns about the damage caused by careless words. Gossip often starts with a simple sentence. Did you hear what happened? Don't tell anyone. But I probably shouldn't say this, but. And before long, someone else's reputation is being damaged. The problem is that gossip feels harmless. Sometimes it even feels entertaining, but it destroys trust. It damages relationships, and it spreads negativity. Many Christians would never intentionally lie, but they may casually share information that doesn't belong to them. Jesus taught that our words matter because words reveal what's in our hearts. Before speaking about someone, ask yourself, would I say this if that person were standing here? If the answer is no, it may be gossip, and gossip is never as harmless as it seems. 2. Constant complaining. Most people don't think of complaining as a serious sin. It's become part of everyday life. People complain about work, about traffic, about money, about weather, about other people, and sometimes about God Himself. The Israelites are a powerful example. God rescued them from slavery, provided food, provided guidance, performed miracles. Yet they constantly complained. Instead of focusing on what God had done, they focused on what they didn't have. The same thing can happen to us. Complaining trains our minds to focus on problems instead of blessings. It shifts our attention away from gratitude, and over time, it weakens our trust in God. This doesn't mean Christians can never express pain or ask difficult questions, but there's a difference between honest struggle and a habit of constant complaining. One seeks God's help, the other ignores God's faithfulness. 3. Holding on to unforgiveness. Few things can quietly damage a person's heart like unforgiveness. Someone hurt you, betrayed you, lied to you, or treated you unfairly, and the pain was real. But many people continue carrying that pain for years. They replay old conversations, old arguments, old betrayals again and again. Jesus spoke about forgiveness more than many people realize. Not because forgiveness is easy, but because it's necessary. Unforgiveness creates a prison, and often the person trapped inside is you. When we refuse to forgive, we allow the past to control the present. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing wrong behavior, and it doesn't mean pretending nothing happened. It means releasing the burden to God, because carrying bitterness only makes the wound deeper. 4. Pride hidden behind self-righteousness. Pride is one of the easiest sins to miss, because pride rarely announces itself. Most proud people don't think they're proud. Sometimes pride appears in subtle ways. Looking down on others, feeling spiritually superior, judging people harshly, believing your failures are understandable while everyone else's failures are unacceptable. The Pharisees looked incredibly religious. They followed rules. They appeared righteous. But Jesus repeatedly confronted their pride. Why? Because pride pushes God out of His rightful place. Pride says, I know better. I don't need correction. I'm doing better than everyone else. Humility, on the other hand, recognizes our need for God every day, and God consistently honors humble hearts. 5. Neglecting God while staying busy. This may be one of the most overlooked sins in modern life. Most people aren't actively rejecting God, they're simply distracted. Life gets busy, work demands attention, phones demand attention, social media demands attention, entertainment demands attention, and before long, God gets whatever time is left over. Many Christians don't intentionally walk away from God, they slowly drift away. One missed prayer becomes a week, one skipped Bible reading becomes a month, and gradually their relationship with God grows weaker. Jesus said we should seek first the kingdom of God, not second, not third, first, because whatever occupies first place in our lives ultimately shapes who we become. Conclusion. These habits may seem small. Many people would barely consider them sins at all. But small compromises can slowly create big spiritual problems. The good news is that God's grace is greater than every failure. He offers forgiveness, mercy, and a fresh start. The first step is simply being honest. Ask yourself, are any of these habits becoming normal in my life? Because God doesn't reveal sin to condemn us, He reveals it to transform us. And transformation always begins with awareness. If this message encouraged you, make sure to like this video, share it with someone who may need to hear it, and subscribe for more faith building content every week. God bless you, and we'll see you in the next video.